Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, honorees, welcome to the 2024 University of Delaware Alumni Association Awards Ceremony. I'm Bill Lazier, a member of the class of 1978 and 1984, and it is my pleasure and privilege to serve as president of the UD Alumni Association. Today we gather to recognize the outstanding accomplishments of 2024 award recipients: Ali Rebuck, Emily DeLay, Ray Jacobson, Linda Marick, Terrell Bynum, Courtney Goodrich, and Collins Seitz. All of you exemplify the qualities of innovative and thoughtful leadership, as well as selfless service to your communities and to the University of Delaware, and that makes us so proud to call you fellow Blue Hens. These awards are a testament to your hard work and dedication. Before we begin introducing this year's honorees, I'd like to turn it over to someone who also truly understands and appreciates the impact that you have on the UD community. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome University of Delaware President Dennis Asanas to say a few words.
Good evening. Thank you, Bill, and thank you to the UD Alumni Association for hosting this wonderful event. First of all, I'd like to say that my wife Eleni and I want to extend a very warm welcome to all our proud Blue Hens who are coming back home to their alma mater for this gorgeous, homecoming, the Alumni Weekend, period. And again, thank you, Eleni, for this fantastic weather that you've arranged. I mean, it was hard to bring everybody inside for this event. So we're so honored to be a part of this celebration as we pay tribute to some of the most accomplished members of our community. And we're all grateful for their dedication to the University of Delaware. Their professional accomplishments and achievements exemplify all that the UD is about, and certainly their volunteer efforts are truly commendable and very inspiring. So we offer our heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of our recipients. Let's give them a hand. Thank you. Very, very deserving, you'll see in a minute. But first, I'd like to acknowledge an outstanding brand new alumna, Ali Rebuck, right here. Ali? She earned the Warner Award and just graduated last week. She was a member of the platform party, so we're just so delighted to have you with us. Your impressive contributions, Ali, have already left an indelible mark on the world. Of course, I also want to mention that we have another awardee, our Taylor awardee, another woman this time. We have two very bright women who got the Taylor and the Warner Award. That's the first time that this happens. And it's Emily DeLay, who has not been able to be with us tonight. But let's give them a hand anyway. And Ali, please tell Emily that I recognize her, will you? So, okay. So now we're so proud to welcome you, Ali and Emily, into the new status as a UD graduate. So congratulations. We can't wait to see what the next endeavors bring for you. And I know you're so engaged in entrepreneurship and everything else at Learner, and I'm sure you do the same thing in the world. So fantastic. Now, a word for our esteemed alumni. And this is you in the room. So your personal and professional triumphs exemplify success and demonstrate the transformative power of a UD education, period. You're agents of change who have made meaningful differences in your communities. You inspire our students to follow in your footsteps in their own communities. And your achievements continue to encourage and motivate our entire university community. And when I say you are very proud and distinguished alumni, I know we have several here who are like first generation, second generation, third generation. If you're a proud alum, could you please stand up so we can all see you? That's everybody in the room. That's so wonderful. Congratulations. So you truly deserve the deepest gratitude that I can extend to each and every one of you for your dedication to UD as you continue to share your expertise, talents, and knowledge with our students, our faculty, and our staff. We're really so privileged to have such an active community of engaged alumni such as yourselves in our family, our Blue Hen family. Your generosity and support is possible, makes it possible to ensure that our students have the best, most holistic educational experience possible. And some of you who were at the graduation ceremony we had like literally last Saturday, I talked a lot about the power of human connections. And I said that the education here at UD is more than the books and the seminars and the course you take and all of that, and even the degree you've acquired. It's all about the human connections and understanding that you have gathered here, and that serves you very well as a proud community of 205,000 alumni. That's pretty remarkable if you think about it. Let's give a hand to all of those alumni. And thanks to your generosity, we're able to provide for some of the most amazing and exciting faculty members to be part of our community, inspiring learning spaces, state-of-the-art equipment, and so much more. So you truly help enable the meaningful real-world experiences that our students need for success in their chosen careers. So thank you so much, really, deep from my heart, for everything you do in so many different ways to provide mentorship, internship opportunities, hiring Blue Hens, supporting various causes and programs, including during the I Heart UD Day, and attending events like this one. Your engagement and generosity propel us toward an even brighter future, ensuring that UD remains a key component of our students' successes for generations to come. So again, thank you all very much. I look forward to an amazing ceremony, and congratulations to our award recipients. And Bill, please take it from here.
Thank you, Dr. Sanas. A listing of all former award recipients can be found in your program, many of whom are here with us tonight. Would all past award recipients please stand or wave to be recognized? Thank you for joining us to help celebrate this year's recipients and for continuing to make your UD family proud. Now, the nominators, mentors, and friends of this year's honorees will introduce the recipients. We'll begin today's ceremony with the University of Delaware Alumni Association's Emily Pusey Warner and Alexander J. Taylor Senior Awards, which honor outstanding students from the senior class. Nominees demonstrate outstanding qualities of academic achievement, as well as leadership and community service, exemplified by Mrs. Warner and Mr. Taylor. We are so delighted and pleased to have Emily Warner's great-granddaughter, Ann Warner Oakes, class of 1976, here with us for tonight's celebration. Ann, would you please stand or wave? Thank you for joining us. It's now my pleasure to introduce Chris Tommins, a member of the class of 1982, to introduce our first award recipient.
Thank you, Bill. It's a pleasure to be here. Pickleball accident, if anybody's curious why I'm on. Didn't expect that to be a dangerous game. It's my great pleasure tonight to introduce Allie Rebuck, the 2024 recipient of the University of Delaware Alumni Association Warner Award for Outstanding Senior. Last weekend, Allie earned an honors Bachelor of Science and degree in Business Analytics and Management Information Systems, also earning a 4.0 grade average along the way. Throughout her time at UD, she has always had a passion for enhancing the student experience for current and future Blue Hens. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. After her sophomore year, Allie saw a need for first-year students to become more engaged and involved at Lerner Alfred College of Business and Economics, and she volunteered to coordinate a 2-day Lerner College Involvement Fair in the fall of 2022. She managed all event logistics and registration, ensuring that numerous campus clubs had the opportunity to expand their membership, and offering 750 first-year students meaningful ways to connect on campus. She then planned a similarly successful event for 2023. Allie's attention to detail and initiative led to the teaching assistant role and peer mentor position for the Lerner College Basics of Business course. Her classroom leadership included teaching classes on various topics and organizing an upperclassmen panel where first-year students could hear from more experienced peers. Outside of the classroom, she often had coffee and meetups with other students, encouraging them to get involved on campus while building their confidence for success along the way. Allie always sought additional ways to enhance the university's student experience. She was invited to join the Lerner Student Advisory Board in the fall of 2022 and became chairperson the following spring, leading a 13-person board that met monthly with the dean and semi-annually with the Lerner Alumni Advisory Board. Under her direction, the board developed workshops, organized panel discussions and student surveys, and guided strategic planning initiatives for the school. She also became involved as a Lerner ambassador, participating in decision days and speaking with admitted Lerner college students while holding a leadership position in Delta Psi Pi, a professional business fraternity. In 2023, Allie was recognized with the Department of Accounting and MIS Outstanding Service Award and the MIS Junior Panel Award. After graduation, Allie will be working as an analyst in the Hilton Worldwide Launch Program with an initial assignment based in London. Pretty impressive. So on a personal note, after getting through all the credentials and many more things, having been matched up with Allie as part of the Lerner Executive Mentoring Program, I was privileged to be able to watch her develop over the 4 years here. When I first met her, she was a young lady that had big aspirations and a lot of energy, and I was always impressed about what she set out for herself and wondered if she'd be able to achieve it all, which she usually did. Our meetings and time together not only focused on her activities in pursuit of success, but also on how she could make an impact with others, as evidenced by some of the activities that she did along the way. It's been my pleasure to have the opportunity to be a part of her college experience here at U of D. She departs as an extremely capable and talented young woman with an exciting future in front of her. So Allie, congratulations, and come on over here and receive your Alumni Association's 2024 Warner Award.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chris, for that warm introduction. It's really hard to believe that I met Chris back when working at Pizza Hut was the proudest accomplishment on my resume. But even then, he instilled the confidence in me that I could achieve any goal I set my mind to. So thank you for always believing in me. To start, I want to thank the Warner and Taylor Selection Committee and the entire UD Alumni Association for this honor. Joining the distinguished community of previous Warner and Taylor Award winners alongside Emily DeLay has been an unforgettable experience. I owe much of this honor to my family for their unconditional support, especially my parents, who consistently encouraged me to just always try my best and chase my passions. My time at the University of Delaware has been filled with incredible opportunities to get involved in the communities I am passionate about. Two of the most impactful organizations during my time here have been the Learner Student Advisory Board and the professional business fraternity Delta Sigma Pi. I am thankful for the remarkable students I have met in each of these groups. I know all of them have bright, bright futures ahead, and some of them are in the audience, so hi. These organizations would not thrive without our devoted advisors, so thank you to Justin Klein, Nicole Rich, and Louisa Cresson for overseeing the Learner Student Advisory Board, and to Deputy Dean Cheryl Klein and Dean Yao for supporting its operations. I also thank Dr. Ryan Radalunes, who could not be with us tonight, for his dedication in advising Delta Sigma Pi. We are so grateful to have his thoughtful guidance. In addition to these organizations, I also found homes on campus within the honors and learner colleges. Being part of the honors community enriched my educational experience by surrounding me with accomplished, like-minded friends and challenging me to dive deeper into topics I am passionate about. Within the learner community, I thank my inspirational professors, especially Dr. Andrea Everard and Dr. Anu Savarman, who are devoted to building smarter, kinder business leaders. I also have immense gratitude for Dr. Julia Bayuk, who opened doors for me to get involved with first-year student experiences. It was through her support that the learner involvement fairs were successful and that I connected with first-year students in their introduction to business courses. And speaking of that introduction to business course, it was so much fun to work with Professor Todd Whitlow. His energetic teaching style, combined with our engaged students, surprisingly made me excited to wake up at 8 a.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of my senior year. Receiving the Warner Award tonight is a direct reflection of the extraordinary efforts by the students, faculty, and staff members I have interacted with here at the University of Delaware. Every memorable experience and achievement would not have been possible without the supportive community that embraced me with open arms from day one. I am eager to find ways to give back to them in the future. Thank you to my friends, professors, and family who are here to support me tonight. And thank you once again to the UD Alumni Association for this honor. I look forward to proudly representing UD as I embark on my career with Hilton in just a few months. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Sheng Lu, and faculty and graduate director of Fashion and Apparel Studies. It is my great honor to introduce Emily DeLay, the recipient of the 2024 UDAA Taylor Award for Outstanding Seniors. I got to know Emily last fall when she took my Fashion 455 Apparel Sourcing and Trade, which is perhaps the least fashionable fashion course on campus. And Emily impressed me on day one because she sent me an email, not to complain that I give them a lot of work to do, but she requests an extra project. And how can I say no, right? And this project ended up in a publication and an invited presentation to about 100 sourcing executives from leading US fashion companies. And we were both interviewed by the NPR News. How amazing. So when the semester ended, I thought maybe I could only stay in touch with her on LinkedIn. How sad. Then thank God I got a new grant. So thank you. So we work again. This time it's a semester-long project. We helped Macy's, one of the largest US retailers, to make its packaging more sustainable. And Emily, once again, was the MVP of the team, and I'll be much more nervous without having her as the co-pilot. So indeed, here at UD, I've worked with many talented students, but Emily is one of the most exceptional. She even got accepted into a highly competitive internship in Washington, D.C. that I was rejected for when I was a student. That's true, yeah, AFA. But Emily is far more than just a straight A student with a 4.0 GPA. So as many of you have read from the featured UDAA story, She has been very dedicated to community service and took a leadership role. This includes serving as a teaching assistant and also an ambassador for the UD's home program. So Emily provided one-on-one mentorship and guidance to UD students interested in having their startup or social ventures, and she also volunteered for many community service programs. But to be highlighted is Emily's own startup called Relief Chronic Care, which aims to create accessible online resources to support women with chronic illness. I had the privilege of watching her presentation about her startup, and very honest, I almost cried. It was really, touching to hear about Emily's personal stories that's behind the creation of this startup, the much hard work she done, how she overcame many challenges, and most importantly, her passion and commitment to promoting gender equality in healthcare. So this is our award recipient. So Emily, congratulations, and so proud of you. And also thank you for being so special. The world is different because of you. Thank you. Thank you. And as you know, Emily could not join us because of some challenging situations, but I heard she recorded a video, which we will share right now. So thank you again.
Hi everyone, my name is Emily DeLay and I am the proud recipient of the Alexander J. Taylor Senior Award for 2024. You're probably wondering why I'm not sitting in front of you all today, and I first really want to apologize for my absence. If you don't know already, I have been dealing with chronic illness for the majority of my life, and part of dealing with a chronic illness means that I deal with pretty heavy health flares, of which I am in one currently. But despite this, I promise you I'm sending you all of my energy of love and gratitude your way. Can you feel it? My time at UD has been anything but normal, and I wouldn't change a single second of it. From never touring UD to taking classes online during COVID to studying in Athens, Greece, battling my chronic illness, launching a startup to try and fix issues around chronic illness, and having opportunities to research and work on major projects within the fashion industry. My life here has been filled with an abundance of joy, tears, love, and learning. And if you told me that at the end of my undergrad, I would receive the award for being one of the most outstanding seniors, I would have definitely not believed you. In fact, I still really don't. As a freshman, I came into college not really knowing what I wanted to do, like most freshmen, except for the fact that I wanted to change the world. And while this idea of changing the world sounded really great, I actually had no clue how I was going to do it, and honestly didn't really have the confidence in myself to even start trying to figure it out. And this is really why this award is so important. It is not about how outstanding I was here at UD. Wow, that makes me feel really great and boosts my ego, and I have to admit I do like the sound of it. But this award really reflects the outstanding people that I always had in my corner. And even more so, I believe that it really symbolizes the true beauty of our university. It symbolizes our dedication to help each other achieve our own personal goals, to make our school and this world a better place. To sit in front of you today as someone who at one point early in my college career, sorry that I'm choking up, thought that graduating college would be an impossibility due to my health issues, I am living proof, breathing proof, that this college and the people here support and encourage every single student to be outstanding. I have a long list of thank yous I'm sure I would probably never fully be able to get through, but please bear with me. I wanted to take a moment to thank the University of Delaware Alumni Association for presenting me with this opportunity and honor, as well as all the people who have supported me along the way. I want to thank my family, my parents, my siblings, my peers, other alumni, and UD faculty. I would briefly like to give a shout out to Darrell Ryabov, Dr. Sheng Liu, and Vince DeFelice, as these were incredible mentors and supporters during my time here. I also want to thank my co-recipient, Allie. Allie, you are such an incredibly inspiring and powerful person, and I am so grateful to not only receive this award with you, but to now have you as a lifelong friend. I know I will probably never be able to fully give back to the university what it has given to me, but I promise you all, sitting here today, I will spend my life trying to. I will use this award as a reminder to dedicate as much of my time and energy after graduation to help those that come after me, just as many have done for me. And until then, I promise you I will be the loudest and proudest alumni that this university has ever seen. With Allie, of course. Thank you so much. Blue Hens forever.
So thank you, Emily. Thank you, Allie. Allie and Emily are both such great examples of what it means to be a blue hen. We're all excited to see what you and Emily do in the future as you begin your next chapters as UD alumni. This next group of honorees epitomize what it means to be great blue hens and to give back to their alma mater. The UD Alumni Association's Outstanding Alumni Awards honor 2 alumni in recognition of their exemplary volunteer work on behalf of the University of Delaware and/or the University of Delaware Alumni Association. Past recipients have been honored for their service and dedication to the university's class and affinity reunion efforts, college and department advisory councils and alumni boards, mentoring and hiring our blue hens and offering important internships, and with affinity alumni groups such as the Men's Crew Alumni Association and the Black Alumni Organization, just to name a few. As everyone here, I'm sure knows, volunteers are vital and essential to many university departments and programs, and their impact is immeasurable. I'm pleased to welcome Jose Luis Riera, Vice President for Student Life, to introduce our first Outstanding Alumni Award recipient.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to introduce the first of the 2024 UDAA Outstanding Alumni Award recipients, Ray Jacobson. Ray earned his Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science in 1971 and is a partner with McDermott, Will, and Emery. UD has benefited from Ray's service and philanthropy for over 25 years, and his commitment to UD is unparalleled. Ray's son, Hunter, will complete his studies at UD this next year, earning a degree in construction engineering. A proud double Del and a UD parent, Ray has served on the Parent and Family Leadership Council since 2020, and since 2022 stepped into the national co-chair role, first as the junior national co-chair, and most recently finishing his term as senior national co-chair. Under Ray's leadership, he continually champions our mission and the Division of Students' Life philanthropic priorities. He provides counsel on matters related to postgraduate success, particularly in the areas of mentorship and career access. Ray and his wife, Marilyn, have generously opened their home to welcome first-year blue hens and their families in the DC metro region through our new student send-off events. And as much as we love Ray and Marilyn and Hunter, their son, We really love their well-trained golden retriever, Rex, who has a following of his own on campus. We are always very excited when Rex is around. Ray is invested in helping our Blue Hens succeed. In addition to the work on behalf of student life, Ray has been a dedicated mentor, particularly for those interested in pursuing a law degree. For more than 15 years, he's provided guidance to students with LSAT preparation and during the law school application process and beyond. And he serves as a volunteer and board member with UD's Hen Law Society. Prior to his work on the Parent and Family Leadership Council, he served as a member of the College of Arts and Sciences Dean Council for 5 years, and he's been an active member of the President's Leadership Council since its inception in 2013. Ray is the consummate alumnus, championing UD and the Blue Hen experience everywhere he goes, and UD is better because of him. Ray can tell you the many ways he was mentored while at UD, from the likes of Jim Soules and Joe Pica. And what I so deeply appreciate is that Ray is the full package. He gives of his time, he gives of his talent, and he gives of his treasure. As I've observed him through the years, his most excited moments are those when he gets to give back what he gained here, and he gets to pour directly into our students. And he is relentless. As senior national co-chair of the PFLC, he was never content with status quo. He'd sit me down, he'd usually look at me over his glasses, and in his very matter-of-fact way, he'd say, "Jose, how can we help you reach your goals?" Which, of course, I loved. Having a partner is amazing. And he was dead serious. And he does it because of his deep care for his alma mater and the opportunity to shape young lives. These two that we've just seen on display tonight. Ray, thank you for all you do for our Blue Hen community, and congratulations on being selected as one of the 2024 University of Delaware Alumni Association Outstanding Alumni Award recipients.
Well, if I had an award, I'd give it to Jose A. for what he just said, although he wasn't under oath, by the way. So, I've had a pleasure of a time working with him on the Parents' Council, as he mentioned, and there's nobody in the university that impacts students on a daily basis as much as Jose and his student life group. That's what they do, and if you haven't had a chance to be impacted, please take advantage of it. When I was listening to the discussion about Emily and Allie and their 4.0 averages, I was wondering what I was doing up here. I was saying to Professor McGee, I didn't have a 4.0, and that was in poli-sci, which is not as hard as engineering. My son had a 3.7, so last semester, so he is making up for my lapses. And because of my lapse in my GPA, I did try to make up for it, as Jose said, over the last 25 years. But I was a late bloomer, and I'm going to just take a minute or two and talk about some people who have impacted my life here. The first person is not here anymore, unfortunately. But he and his wife have been extremely good as campus leaders when I was here, and their names are in the materials. So Paul Andrusani and Barbara Andrusani, great guys, great guy from Salesianum and young lady from PS DuPont. They came, they met, they got married, they've had kids. The kids have come back to Delaware. The grandkids have come back to Delaware. Paul saw me one day, this was more than the 25 years ago, and he said, "Ray, you're doing your lawyer stuff, but you're not contributing, and you should contribute to the university." So that was a wake-up call, and so we had a glass or two of wine at the Columbus Inn, and I got religion, and I started becoming involved. and it's been a rewarding experience. And since I do legal stuff, I look back and I said, well, how could I contribute? And it came at a time when a number of us who had been lawyers looked back at our university experience, and some people had some great experiences. Again, Professor McGee, I know, took a lot of time to mentor students, but there wasn't an official program. And maybe people were thinking about Shakespeare. I think he said something about lawyers that was derogatory. But I think we'll agree that you need good lawyers. I know the Chief Justice has a lot of programs to make people in Delaware better lawyers, and we decided to do that here at the university. And so there is now today an LP3 program that's run by Joyce Henderson, and if Joyce is here, I'd like her to say hello because she deserves an applause. But thank you. I mean, this is a great program. I wish I was coming back and going through the university now because I'd get it right, closer at least. We had an event a couple of months ago at Deer Park, and 80 students showed up. And those 80 students are being mentored by another 25 or 30 alumni who are taking the time to get to know the students and mentor them. And that's one thing that I've had the pleasure of doing over the last 15 years. And some of my students went on to clerk for prominent judges, get prominent jobs in firms, work in government. They're all over the place. And so it's great to see them advance. It's great for the university. They have a very good program, and if you come into the university now, while we don't have a law school, well, we can say yes, but we will get you into a good law school, and we have a great program. So again, hats off to Joyce for what she's doing and the teachers and the faculty that work in that area. My last comment is just to say that you don't get to get an award like this without a lot of help and a lot of inspiration. And there's a number of people whose names are in your book that I would point to, but I would say Robin Lindahara, I would say Barbara Andrusani, I would say Claire Marquardt. Those are some people who have been previously given awards, but it doesn't stop when you get the award. And I'm inspired by them and some other people every day. So my hat's off to them. Thanks.
Well, good evening. My name is Lauren Simeone, and it's a pleasure to serve as our Associate Vice President of Alumni Engagement and to be here tonight to introduce Linda Justice Myrick, our second 2024 UD Alumni Association's Outstanding Alumni Award recipient. Linda graduated from UD with a degree in chemical engineering in 1977 and went on to earn an MBA from Wharton in 1981. When you mix an engineer's problem-solving abilities with the leadership, communication, and critical thinking skills of an MBA holder, you get someone who makes an indelible impact on all they touch. Linda's involvement with the College of Engineering includes serving for many years on the Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering Advisory Council, assisting on the Colburn Lab National Campaign, and as an engaged member of the Biomedical Engineering Advisory Council for many years. She supported the college and its leadership through the college's advisory council and recently accepted an appointment as the council chair. She's also served with the Engineering Alumni Association as its president and on the scholarship committee, where she especially loves meeting current engineering students. When she finished her term as president of the Engineering Alumni Association, she joined the board of the UDAA. Not too long into her term, Linda took a work opportunity in Paris. And instead of saying she wouldn't be able to finish her commitment, she simply asked me, how can we make this work? Back before digital files and Zoom meetings, I would FedEx Linda a very large binder of applications for her to review, and she would participate on those conference calls well into evening Paris time. When she returned to the US, she rejoined the UDAA committed as ever, eventually serving as its president from 2019 to 2021. Undeterred by the impact of the pandemic, she continued to facilitate board meetings with her steadfast enthusiasm and dedication, just via Zoom instead of on campus. Under her leadership, the board optimized the opportunity presented, tackling new values, vision, and mission statements, and updates to the UDAA bylaws. She graciously adjusted to the needs of the university and the UDAA, modeling patience and understanding through it all, especially given how atypical her presidency was. In 2018, Linda and a group of the Myrick family, most of whom are also Blue Hens, joined Professor Gao on a UD alumni and friends trip to China. She loved every minute of that trip, and at the end of it, found herself accepting an invitation to be a member of the Master Players Concert Series Advisory Council. For more than 3 decades and counting, UD has benefited greatly from Linda's leadership, passion, time, resources, and unapologetic pride for all things Delaware. She's a true role model for other Blue Hens. I've been fortunate to have a front row seat to seeing so much of her UD volunteer story and look forward to seeing how she continues to give back so much of herself to this place we both love so much. Linda, congratulations on this well-deserved recognition, and thank you. Our Blue Hen community is better because of you.
Trying to do this. I'm truly honored to be here, and I offer my personal congratulations to all the other recipients. I want to thank Lauren, my friend, the UDAA super organizer and creative mind, the team in the Office of Development and Alumni Relations, Dean Levi Thompson and his brilliant colleagues in the Department of Engineering, College of Engineering, and Professor Sean Gao, the force behind the Master Players Concert Series. As Lauren said, I am a very proud fightin' Blue Hen. I love Delaware. I attribute everything I have in my success, both personally and professionally, to the University of Delaware, to chemical engineering, and later in my postgraduate volunteer life. Now, chemical engineering was a notoriously difficult major. We studied hard day and night. We learned how to work in teams, and we learned how to solve problems. And the professors became the voices inside my head. We say mentors, but I think of more voices, including then Chair Dr. Art Metzner and Dr. Fraser Russell, who provided career advice to me that shaped my life and shaped my career. I was excited to join the Engineering Alumni Association and to be asked to serve on the Chemical Engineering Advisory Council. It was very interesting to take part in the department strategy sessions and to see how, to give back my own contribution on what industry expected of our graduates, and also to be involved in the Colburn Lab campaign when we built on there. Then while working in healthcare for Air Liquide, I joined the Biomedical Engineering Advisory Council and later the College of Engineering Advisory Council, where I serve as chair. The University of Delaware Alumni Association has been a rewarding part of my life. We take our mission seriously to support the now 205,000 living alumni with programming and opportunities to connect, inspire, serve, and celebrate. While living in Paris for Air Liquide, as Lauren said, she would send me these stacks of files. and I would participate on conference calls, which usually were at 4 o'clock Newark time or 10 p.m. Paris time, obviously with a glass of wine in my hand. I was proud to serve as president and join a distinguished list of presidents, many of whom are sitting here, including Alan Brayman, Darrell Rehoboth, Ken Jones, Ann Beretta, Steve Beatty, Kerry Halbel, and Bill Luzier. As you can imagine, it was very interesting being president during COVID. Thankfully, we had dedicated Alumni Circle, which you haven't seen it, it's up off Main Street. We did that the year before. But during COVID, we still met virtually because we still felt the need to connect and to continue to serve the mission of the UDAA. So the University of Delaware is one of the cornerstones of the Myrick family, and they're kind of positioned down here in front. I met my husband coming out of Brown Lab after our first chemistry quiz with Dr. Burmeister. Steve has supported me personally and professionally through every step of this journey. We're particularly proud that both of our sons, Stephen, civil engineering, class of 11, Gregory, chemical engineering, class of 13, and our daughter-in-law, Lauren, chemical engineering, class of 13, joined here. They've continued the UD engineering tradition. And even prouder that Professors Ogunaki and Durjati were their voices in their head. The UD connection also includes my brother and sister-in-law, Doug and Sandy Myrick at Doubledale, as well as all 5 of our nieces and nephews. Lastly, I want to thank Marge Windoff, my calculus teacher from Mount Pleasant High School, and a UD alum who steered me into a STEM career, and to my father-in-law, Ron Myrick, who's the real cornerstone of the Myrick family, and directed us all toward a career in engineering as well. It is my honor and privilege to give back my time, talent, and treasure, a phrase I learned from Lauren, through the Alumni Association, the Engineering Alumni Association, the College of Engineering and Biomedical Advisory Councils, the Master Players Concert Series, the Myrick Family Scholarship, and the Biomedical Engineering Summer Scholars Program. More importantly, the other volunteers have become friends, part of my life, as we challenge each other to continue to involve others in the university and to support the mission of the UDAA. So thank you for this honor, and Blue Hens forever.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Ray, for all you've done for UD and our Blue Hen community. We have one final group of distinguished individuals we are proud to honor today. In recognition of the many notable achievements of its alumni, the University of Delaware and the UD Alumni Association established the Alumni Wall of Fame Award in 1984. In January of that year, the initial photographic exhibit honoring 54 prominent alumni was dedicated. Former students of the Reverend Francis Allison's School, the New Ark Academy, Newark College, Delaware College, and the University of Delaware were selected for their professional and public service achievements. Since the initial 1984 ceremony, over 290 alumni have been inducted into the Alumni Wall of Fame in recognition of their professional and public service excellence, their impact on their industry, as well as their continued engagement with their alma mater. Tom Powers, Associate Professor of Philosophy, will introduce our first recipient.
Thank you, Bill. So, good evening. It's my pleasure to be here this evening to introduce our first Alumni Wall of Fame inductee, Terry Bynum, who I met around 20 years ago, and I've admired ever since. And as you listen to this short introduction, I think you'll understand why. Your Honor, Chief Justice, only 5 hours for my concluding arguments here tonight. So Dr. Bynum graduated from UD in 1963 with honors and distinction with bachelor's degrees in philosophy and in chemistry. And as my colleagues and I learned today at lunch, he wanted to write 2 honors theses, but a wise administrator told him 1 is enough. And so he wrote an honors thesis that combined a new algorithmic method in thermodynamics and his teaching in symbolic logic. So 1 honors thesis for 2 disciplines. A pioneer in the field of computer and information ethics, Terry is a renowned philosopher, educator, writer, and editor. Serving as Distinguished Professor of Philosophy at Southern Connecticut State University since 2016. His professorial career at Southern Connecticut State dates back to 1987. He's also held roles at Dutchess Community College, Ramapo College, the University of Albany, American University, and as visiting professor at the Center for Computing and Social Responsibility at De Montfort University in England. So as I mentioned, Terry was a star student at UD, but also an extremely ambitious one. In his first 2 years here, he consumed course offerings in philosophy and in chemistry. And after he got so far ahead of his peers, he began to help other students to write better, and he began to help his faculty mentor, Stefan Baumrin, who was one of the members of the philosophy department at that time, which was a very small department. From 1961 to 1963, Terry assisted Professor Baumrin in a series of prestigious guest lectures called the Delaware Seminars in Philosophy of Science. And they were the envy of the philosophical world. Terry met many of the best philosophers in the world who came through over a 2-year period and gave talks at the University of Delaware. Thanks to Terry, the recorded transcripts of those lectures now reside with the American Philosophical Association, headquartered here on the University of Delaware campus. And I should mention also that APA Executive Director Amy Ferrer, who's sitting here in the audience, has ensured us that those lectures will be preserved for generations to learn from. In 1968, 2 years out of graduate school, and with the guidance of his UD mentor, Professor Baumrin, Terry founded and edited the journal Metaphilosophy, which is still in existence today. 2020 celebrated its 50th anniversary. So Terry was editor-in-chief for 25 years. He accumulated an editorial board of the very best philosophers in the world, and he also began to nudge the profession of philosophy to be more self-reflective, to be more comparative, and to think about how to better teach philosophy. He also began to nudge philosophers to open their eyes to the coming digital world that would soon be placed before it. Independent of his work on this new journal, and within a few years of graduating from CUNY with a PhD, Terry would publish the fruits of his labor as a translation of some of the seminal essays of Gottlob Frege, who's a German philosopher and mathematician, and along with those translations, a biography of Frege and an annotated bibliography. So not coincidentally, I think it's Frege's work on logic and mathematics and the structure of natural languages that provides a bridge in the 20th century to the creation of artificial languages, to the creation of software, and eventually to the digital revolution. So Terry was there in the beginning. I came to know Terry during a pivotal point in my career where I also turned to computer ethics. As one of the founders of the field of computer ethics, Terry was a central figure at all conferences and workshops. He was also a keeper of the bibliography. If anything important had been written in computer ethics, Terry knew about it and he would keep us apprised of it. So in recognition of his exceptional accomplishments, he was the recipient in 2011 of the Preston Covey Lifetime Achievement Award from the International Association for Computing and Philosophy. I serve on the board of directors of that association. The Weizenbaum Award from the International Society for Ethics and Information Technology in 2019. The Barwise Prize from the American Philosophical Association in 2008. He also served on important committees at the APA, including the Committee on Philosophy and Computers. Terry has been a fellow of the Andrew Mellon Foundation, the Danforth Foundation, the Woodrow Wilson Foundation, and he's received multiple grants throughout his career for his research, too many to mention tonight. As an outgrowth of Terry's passion for student learning, he established the American Association of Philosophy Teachers, where he served in leadership roles for 15 years, and the American Association for Philosophy Teachers is still in existence. He founded the Research Center on Computing and Society. He served in 2002 as a delegate to the United Nations Summit on Protecting Children on the Internet, and in 2004 as a delegate to the United Nations World Energy Technology Summit in Paris. Terry maintained relationships with two of his UD mentors after graduation, Professor Cyrus Day and Professor Bounram, who I've already mentioned. He honors them with his financial support for scholarships named in their honor. So on behalf of the chair of my department, Joel Poost, and our entire department, and on behalf of our students, I want to thank Terry for that generous support. Terry, you've had a distinguished career as a scholar, as a leader, as a mentor for a new generation of philosophers for the digital age. Those of us who now wrestle with the implications of the new and astounding artificial intelligence tools in the classroom, in the lab, and in the wider world. Congratulations on this well-deserved honor from the UDAA Alumni Association, and please accept the profound gratitude of the University of Delaware.
Well, I'm so honored. And I think of the University of Delaware as the place where I was launched on a long, challenging, and exciting life, on a journey that I've now returned from, and I'm home again. The things that I accomplished, of course, could not possibly have been done without the help of many different people. One of the most important of those is my dear wife, Aline, who unfortunately couldn't be with us today because she fell ill. But she and I will celebrate our 59th wedding anniversary next month. And she put up with all kinds of things. I traveled around the world running workshops and so on, and all kinds of projects. And I'm happy to say she not only encouraged me, but she went with me in many places and helped me when I got there. What I especially would like to do is to talk about the importance of faculty members becoming mentors of the students. There are two mentors that I had at the University of Delaware that I will never forget and that helped to shape my life. The first was a professor, Cyrus Day, in the English department. And when I was taking his course on English literature, I found out that he also taught a course on great ancient Greek literature in English translation. I was a sophomore at the time, and I went to him and I said, I don't believe that I'll be an educated man unless I know something about great Greek literature. So I want to take your course on English translations of great Greek literature. And he said, gee, I'm so sorry, I'm just teaching that course now, and I won't teach it again for another 4 years, and by then you will have graduated. And I said, oh, what a shame. And then he said, I'm impressed with your knowledge and your desire for more, and I'll make a deal for you. I will create for you an independent study course on the topic that you want, and you can come and meet with me every 2 weeks to talk about the readings and the assignments in that independent study course. He was a very, very busy man, many different things to do in the university. He nevertheless gave me of his time. And he gave me of his time not just as a teacher, but as a person. I had a feeling of friendship and warmth, and it made me think, gee, I would like to become a university professor too, and I want to be just like him. And then I had another mentor who had this incredible impact upon my life. He was a young doctorate, assistant professor for 2 years, and he came to Delaware, and he had arranged to have 30 of the world's leading philosophers of science come to Delaware and give big speeches. And when he got here, he realized that the philosophy department was rather small, and he was looking for people to help. And my best friend Jim and I were in chemistry, but we were interested in the ultimate nature of the universe, and chemistry didn't give that to us. And so we decided to take a course in philosophy, and we got turned on to philosophy. He was such a teacher, and he was so wonderful. And so he realized how interested we were, and the fact that we were in chemistry and wanted to add philosophy as a second major. And so he said, guess what? I'm running a big 2-year conference with 30 of the world's leading philosophers of science coming here to Delaware to give big speeches. And I would like you, if you're willing, to come and help me run this program by doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work. You could, for example, audio tape the speeches and put signs up on the campus to announce their speeches and do other work behind the scenes to help me. Me and my best friend, Jim, had the incredible experience of listening to 30 of the world's great philosophers of science and recording their speeches, which, by the way, still exist, and they're here in the philosophy department, still. Anyway, after that, he gave me and Jim advice on how to apply for big fellowships, which we got, and in several different ways in my life. When I created the journal Metaphilosophy, he told me how to create a journal. I had no idea how to do that. And he eventually, when he went to the City University of New York for a big job there, I went there and got my PhD, and he was my PhD advisor. And so he was my senior thesis advisor here at Delaware, and he later became my PhD advisor at the City University of New York. He had such an impact on my life. I couldn't have done it without him, and I did it with great joy because of him. So thank you very much for this honor. I'm very honored indeed. And thank you very much. And Delaware, I'm home. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Michael Chagis, and I'm Dean of the Honors College, and I'm going to a couple of times go off script. My first one is just to say that thank you to all of those who put on this event every year. It is truly remarkable, and hearing these stories of mentorship and gratitude is something that really touches us all. And I encourage, I've talked to some of you before, I encourage all of you to think tonight or later about who your mentors have been and maybe let them know and show some gratitude for who mentored you, because we all had many, many mentors in our lives that helped us be successful. And I think it's emblematic of the person that I'm going to bring forth to you today. It's my pleasure to introduce our next Alumni Wall of Fame inductee, Courtney Smith Goodrich, an Honors College alumnus. Courtney graduated from UD in 1993, earning a bachelor's degree in management. Now I'm going to divert a little bit because Courtney's shared this experience with our students recently, and when she graduated here, she thought she was going to go to medical school. She had completed all the requirements, she was ready to head off, and then she had this realization that she did not really think she could become a doctor. So she thought about what she was going to do, and she thought, well, if I can't be a doctor, maybe I could be in a management role and I could sort of manage hospitals. And so she decided, well, maybe I need to continue my education and learn a little bit about management. But she had a problem. The problem was her parents told her, well, we've put you through 4 years of school. It's up to you now to figure out what you're going to do. So at the time, Rob Hall was our career service center, and she walked over and she walked up the steps, and for those of us who remember back in the 20th century how you found jobs, there are these little pieces of paper, you could find apartments, you could pull off things. She saw this thing that said JP Morgan Chase, and there were all these little things, hourly, I forget what the hourly rate was, but Courtney was very good in math, and she quickly calculated, and she said, you know, I think if I get this hourly job, I could probably pay for my apartment, and I can go into she was going to go into a public administration program. And so she called up JP Morgan Chase, and they said, sure, we'd like to have you. So this was the beginning of her start away from medicine into sort of the technology field, because her first job in 1993 in this part-time job with JP Morgan Chase was to teach people how to use a mouse. So she would have people in a room and they'd be moving this mouse and playing with this. That was when technology was back then. I remember when I got here at the university in 1990, it was all about, there was this thing called email, and we started to use that. So anyways, she worked in that part-time job. She continued her studies at the University of Delaware. In 1995, she earned a master's in public administration. She finished first in her class. She then decided, I'm going to stay with JP Morgan Chase. So she had been working with them. She took a full-time job where she quickly rose in leadership roles to become the Chief Operating Officer for Global Technologies in 2014, and then Chief Technology, Strategy, and Programs Officer in 2016. She is an accomplished executive who has led transformational global technology-based initiatives at two of the largest banks in the U.S. She is now Chief Administrative Officer for Consumer Lending and Executive Vice President at Wells Fargo Bank, the world's second largest bank by market capitalization and the fourth largest bank in total assets in the U.S. In this role, she oversees a $250 million budget and is in charge of the consumer lending division's shared functions using advanced data analytics and artificial intelligence to advance the bank's business. She is also a member of Wells Fargo's management committee, reporting directly to the consumer lending CEO. She was a finalist for the Philadelphia CIO of the Year in 2020, one of 5 finalists across the entire Philadelphia metro area. I have had the incredible good fortune of working with Courtney since 2009. While working at JP Morgan Chase at the time, Courtney collaborated with me in my then role of Dean of Engineering, and Bobby Gempasaw, who many of you might remember, then Dean of the Alfred Lerner College of Business and Economics. We were working on starting a global enterprise technology program. Through this program, students would receive a minor that prepared them for the use and deployment of computer systems in global organizations like JPMC. With Courtney's dedicated commitment, we had bi-weekly meetings for nearly 2 years. 2 years, and they were enjoyable. Every 2 weeks we would get together. She had to report to her boss. We had to report to our bosses. We were working on forging a groundbreaking industry and academic partnership aimed at building a better pipeline of technology talent. And I would say, as far as I'm concerned, in my 34 years here at the university, I think this was an exemplar for university industry partnerships. It's really the best partnership that I've ever been involved in. And you might ask why that was. And I think the reason it was that Courtney would come to these meetings and say, tell me, what does the university hope to get out of this partnership? And I'll tell you what JPMC wants to get out of this partnership. And they were looking for talented university students that we have a lot of to be interns at JPMC. And we said, if we want to get our students really excited about this, we also need to get our faculty excited about this. So do you think you could maybe fund some research for our faculty? Because faculty love getting research dollars. And so they said, you know, we have lots of problems and no time to work on them. And we also have money. So faculty started doing research projects, students started working with JPMC, and the other thing that we both agreed on was, wouldn't it be great to have a facility on campus where JP Morgan Chase was located here with the students? And so that was the third goal, and that goal has been realized as well. So both UD and JPMC reached our objectives, and therefore it's no real surprise that this program continues to flourish today. Courtney serves on UD's President's Leadership Council and as an advisory board member for the Learner's Department of Accounting and MIS. Most recently, Courtney has become a really large contributor to the Honors College through mentorship and speaking engagements. In 2022, she received a Distinguished Honors Alumni Award for her numerous professional accomplishments. At that event, I still remember she gave a talk and she shared, I could go on and on about all the different words of wisdom that she gave our students. One of them was about forming your sort of group of mentors and making sure you pick very different people to surround yourself with to get advice from. And she gave a stimulating talk about her career, all the ebbs and flows, how every 2 years she changes her position, because she told the students, once you learn your job, it's time to move to a new challenge. And it was really wonderful. So after the talk, we had hors d'oeuvres, we had food. There was a line of like 20 students. She didn't get to have a single bite because the students were asking her questions, and she just loved it. And I happened to be standing next to her husband, Scott. And Scott turned to me and said, she is in her element. This is what she loves to do. So it was a wonderful event. She has continued to mentor students here at the university. Courtney has established the Courtney Smith Goodrich Scholarship at UD, awarded to undergraduate students with a major in the Learner's College, and she furthers her commitment to the success of Blue Hens. Outside of UD, Courtney is a frequent speaker at industry forums, is involved in programs that provide access to college education, and serves on boards of organizations dedicated to helping learners of all ages and backgrounds enhance their personal and professional lives. She has been particularly involved in efforts to support women in business, including her involvement in the Pennsylvania Conference for Women. Unfortunately, Courtney is out of the country today and unable to be with us in person tonight, but she has recorded a message. So please let's show that now. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Courtney Smith Goodrich. Being selected as University of Delaware Hall of Fame recipient is a tremendous honor. Thank you all very much. I started at UD as a political science major with the intent to become a lawyer. It literally took me one semester to realize that wasn't the right path for me, mainly because I preferred numbers and graphs to reading. So I then switched to be a business major. And to this day, I can't tell you why I did that. So it most likely had something to do with where all my friends were, which is probably not the best way to pick your major. So a couple years went by. I then declared minors in biology and chemistry with a dream to go to medical school. After graduation, I chickened out on medical school, fearing somebody dying would be my fault. So I decided to pursue my master's in public administration in order to be a hospital administrator. While getting my master's, I needed to pay the rent. So I went to the University of Delaware Career Services Center, which at the time was in an old house and up a rickety set of stairs, nothing like the beautiful center UD students now have. When I got to the top of those stairs, on the board, a company called JP Morgan was advertising internships for $10 an hour. Which was enough, by the way, to pay the rent. So I had no idea who JP Morgan was. At this time, they were just a small private banking and investment banking company. But I honestly didn't care. I just needed to pay that rent. So I interviewed at JP Morgan, got the job, paid the rent, and officially started my career in financial services. I say all this not to highlight the indecision I had in choosing a career path, but as a testament to the quality of education at the University of Delaware, not just in one field of study, but in so many fields that enabled a former political science, business, biology, chemistry, public administration student to become a senior executive in 2 of the top 3 financial institutions in the world. After I graduated, I pursued the usual alumni activities like homecoming, football games, Deer Park, more Deer Park. However, about 15 years ago, I started working with the University of Delaware extensively through a unique partnership with JP Morgan Chase and the university. I've continued this engagement since moving to Wells Fargo too. Re-engaging with UD in this capacity has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life, both personally and professionally. Over the last several years, I have learned from the faculty and staff at the university about how the university itself works, from processes around current curriculum approvals, research grants, recruiting, and even business development. However, to my surprise, I have learned a tremendous amount from the students themselves. The students have given me insights into their challenges, their priorities, and generally how to think about the world differently from their perspectives. So when I look back on the last 15 years of this engagement, I'm so proud of all that has been accomplished. From the university's Innovation Center at Purnell, to multiple business and technology research projects, to the Autism and Neurodiversity Program, to the scholarship program, and most importantly, to providing professional opportunities to countless students. However, my engagement with the full UD community has given me back so much more than I ever anticipated, and I'm forever grateful for that. There are so many people to thank for who I am and where I am today. I'll start with my family, especially my mom and dad, who have given me so much support and love always, and inspire me every day to keep learning and growing, no matter how old you get. I hope that your fantastic examples have provided that same inspiration for my daughter, Haley. To my college roomies, thanks for being my lifelong friends and for making sure we didn't make too many bad decisions in our 4 years together. To my closest friends, thank you for always being there for me and helping me smile. To my work colleagues, past and present, especially Jen, Mike, and Don, I share this award with you. Our collective efforts have made an indelible mark on our companies, but importantly, on UD and the students themselves. To my UD colleagues, especially President Asanis and Eleni, Michael Chagis, Jim Dicker, and Beth Brand, thank you for letting me be part of this incredible community. I am forever grateful to be part of this UD family and truly humbled and honored to receive this award today. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is James McGee, and I was the Judge Hugh Morris Professor of Political Science, and now I'm an emeritus professor. I've always wanted to teach in this room, but no one would ever let me. So I'm very pleased to be here tonight to introduce Colin Seitz, CJ Seitz. CJ graduated from the university in 1980 with a bachelor's degree in political science. Seems to be a popular major in this round of Alumni Weekend. CJ is the Chief Justice of Delaware, not just the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Delaware, but the Chief Justice. That's his title. He's serving a 12-year term, having already served 3 years before that as an Associate Justice. Given that Delaware, as many of you know, is the most popular jurisdiction for corporations, the Delaware Supreme Court has developed a worldwide reputation as a respected source of corporate law decisions, particularly in mergers and acquisitions. He's authored scores of corporate law decisions during his time on the bench, and he has left an indelible mark on the bench and bar of the state of Delaware, and helped to continue the preeminence of this state in the business world, not just in this country, but all over the world. Under his leadership, major changes were made to the Delaware bar exam, which used to be, my former students used to tell me, the hardest exam they ever had. He wanted to make the state more attractive and welcoming to practice law and engage in public service. These changes included major improvements such as offering the bar exam twice a year. It was usually just one, and it was very, very hard. And students would be very anxious, waiting for the results. He also managed to get the bar exam twice a year. And he offered a number of potential changes, one of which was to reduce the number of possible essays that these nervous candidates would have to address from 14 to 10. In 2008, he did something I didn't know anything about, and I taught constitutional law for 45 years. He successfully represented Delaware as a state at the United States Supreme Court in a dispute with New Jersey over territorial claims to the Delaware River, including a proposal that was later scrapped because of Delaware's victory, a proposal to install a liquid gas terminal among its banks. So that was a major achievement. Thank you, CJ. Prior to his appointment as Chief Justice, he served in private practice in the law firm, a very prominent law firm where he was the managing partner of the firm Connolly Bove Lodge. And then he later headed his own firm, and I got to meet two of his colleagues this evening. The firm is Seitz and Ross. He also held important positions in the state bar, including being the chair of the Delaware Board of Bar Examiners, and he was recognized as an outstanding trial attorney by the American College of Trial Lawyers, which is limited to 1% of the state's attorneys. And we have a lot of attorneys. CJ, he was a fellow of American College of Trial Lawyers. He's also served as the president of the Delaware Community Legal Aid Society. At UD, he's done quite a bit, including giving the annual James R. Soules Lecture on the Constitution and Citizenship. He frequently attends on-campus events especially at the Weinberg Celebration Dinner and events at the President's Home, and has served as a commencement alumni delegate representing his class of 1980 when his daughter graduated from the University of Delaware. It was my good fortune more than 44 years ago to be his teacher in 3 courses. And while he was a very good student, the one thing I remember about CJ is when he came into a class, usually a couple of minutes before the class started, he would climb over the back row and to get into his seats down front or in the middle. I don't think we could do that anymore today, could we? I mean, physically. I don't mean it's... So, CJ, congratulations on making me very proud of your career and the person you are. But congratulations on your induction into the University of Delaware Alumni Association Wall of Fame. Richly deserved. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. It warms my heart that you're here. So my journey through the University of Delaware was not always as a political science major. I don't know if Professor McGee ever knew this, but I started out as a geography major, and I was studying climatology and meteorology with a professor called, his last name was Mather. He was a real institution here at the University of Delaware, and I wanted to be a meteorologist. And he took me to farms in South Jersey, and we did all sorts of scientific work there. And then I took a course with Jim McGee. And Jim lit the spark to think about maybe a career other than a meteorologist. And I am so grateful for that wisdom that he imparted. And not just Jim McGee, but Jim Souls. I had a class with Jim Souls too. And Jim knew we had to sit down. He always got to know his students, and we had to sit down. And I told him that I was working with Professor Mather, and we were doing great things in climatology. And he said, "Boy, stop wasting your time." He said, "You need to be in political science, and you need to be a lawyer." And of course, he was a great friend of my father's as well, and knew my father's reputation of a judge here in the state. Well, that was that. What was I going to do after that? And if you ever had a conversation with Jim Souls, you just did what he told you to do. And it was usually pretty good advice. So I'm so grateful that Jim and Jim Souls and Jim McGee put me on the path to being a Delaware lawyer, and then eventually engaging in some public service starting in 2015. There are enough Seitzes that have graduated from the University of Delaware. We could field a football team, I think, probably. We really could. There are a number of us that are here, and I'm so honored to be in the company with this award of Claire DeMattias, who's here tonight, Bill Lafferty, and others. I was looking at the list. There are 2 other Supreme Court justices who are on the list. William Duffy, who was a dear friend of our families and mine growing up, another inspiration to become a lawyer, but he was a Delaware Supreme Court justice. And my predecessor as Chief Justice, Leo Strine, is also a recipient of this award. I am so fortunate to have been part of the University of Delaware community, and also my family, too. My daughter, Meredith Seitz, is here. She's a Master's in Public Administration grad. My wife, Gail, who's a double major undergrad, and then she's got her MBA from the institution. Our great friends, the trainers, are here. And I'm really proud to see my former law partners. I see Bart Dalton there from the American College of Trial Lawyers. Talk about famous guy. He was head of the whole American College of Trial Lawyers across the United States. You honor me with your presence. Thank you so much for this award. I really appreciate it. And, you know, my father was a graduate of the class of 37. And as you know, in 1950, he persuaded the University of Delaware to integrate. I know he'd be proud. So thank you very much.
So congratulations to all our honorees. Your achievements and successes make us proud and carry on the UD legacy. Please stay in touch and know we hope to see you at next year's award celebration. I'd like to extend a special thank you to those who nominated our award recipients. I hope the next year, many of you feel inspired to nominate a blue hen you believe best exemplifies the award criteria. I'd also like to thank the Alumni Association's Awards Committee for the outstanding job they did in selecting this year's nominees. I would also like to recognize my fellow UDAA board members for their service and dedication to the university and to the Alumni Association. Through their loyalty, support, and enthusiasm, they continually demonstrate that they're blue hens forever. Will all current and past board members here today please stand or wave to be recognized. At our 2019 award celebration, the UD Alumni Association announced its commitment to create a new home and recognition space for the names of all the award recipients and association past presidents. The Alumni Circle, located between Alumni Hall and the Little Bob, was dedicated during homecoming weekend in 2019. Its shape is intentionally round, signifying the lifelong, never-ending relationship we hope all Blue Hens have with our alma mater. This space has become a special location for gatherings and celebrations, one that showcases the many generations of Blue Hen leaders and role models for our students. If you've not already done so, I encourage you to visit the Alumni Circle this weekend before you leave campus. Now, on behalf of the entire UD Alumni Association Board of Directors, thank you so much for celebrating with us this evening. And please join us in the lobby for the reception honoring the recipients. Good evening.